Okay, I'm going to be going over your FSA Review Packet. We are on page 15. I'm starting out with number, I don't know because the numbers have been cut off, but I'm starting out with the verse 1, day 19. Circle the answers that complete the statement. 92 hundredths is 10 times as much as something and 1/10 of something. So we talked about this before, that these are comparisons. 92 hundredths means equal to 10 times as much as something. So I need to figure out 10 times what would have got me here. Since I'm multiplying, that means this original number would have been smaller in order for me to get it here to the larger. So in this case, I could do inverse operation and divide by a power of 10. So then that original number would have been, instead of 92 hundredths, it would have been 92 thousandths. And again, when I take that 0 and 92 thousandths and I multiply it by 10, then that's how they got their original number. So again, it's a comparison, and the same thing is going to be for here. And 92 is 1/10 of, so 1/10 times something is equal to 0 and 92 hundredths. Again, it's the same thing. In this instance, I know that I took 1/10 times something and I got 92 hundredths. So in this instance, I'm going to do the inverse of that. I would have originally wanted it to have been bigger. So I'm dividing by 10. So inverse, I'm switching it to the other way. So in this instance, your original number would have been 9 2/10. And if I would have multiplied that 9 2/10 times 1/10, that's where they got their answer. So this one is 92/10. If you've been following along, I'm going to give you a letter. Turn it in for a word. Your first letter is G. The table shows how much a puppy weighs from age 1 month old to age 5 months old. What ordered pairs would you use to show the puppy's weight in a coordinate grid? So I'm not going to list them all for you, but I'm going to just tell you your age and your weight. That's your first ordered pair. That's your second ordered pair. So you would list them all, 112, 218, and so on and so forth. And again, you could then plot these on a coordinate grid with the first number, the age being your x coordinate, and the second number being your y coordinate, how far you run across, how high you go up. Now the next one says, how do you think the ordered pairs would be different if the puppy weight was measured every week instead of every month? Well, obviously if I measured it by the week, the weight is going to be much slower rising. So whereas this is going 12, 18, 23, it might go something like 12, 13, 13 and a half. It would be much slower when I'm measuring in terms of weeks because the time span is shorter. Moving on to number 82. Again, this is just place value. I'm going times a number less than 1, so I know my answer needs to become less than. So I'm moving over 1 place value, my answer getting smaller. This is going to actually be the opposite because I'm dividing by a number less than 1. So you could just move it over 1 place value, realizing that it needs to get bigger, because I'm taking that 6 3/3 and I'm cutting it up into a whole bunch of small pieces, and now I have a lot of small pieces. So you could just move it over 1 place value to get that answer of 63, or you could actually rewrite it 6 3/10 divided by 0 and 1/10, and again moving that decimal over to make it a whole number. Now my decimal goes straight up. 1 can go into 63. How many times? 63. So you get the same whole number. Just if you realize that this is place value, you're good to go. Opposite of division is multiplication. So moving over 1 place value to get bigger. Number 83 says 10 coins weigh 25 grams. How many grams does 1 coin weigh? Well, I know that I have 10 coins and each coin weighs 25, so essentially you're doing 10 divided by 25. So in order to find the weight of each one, again, I can just simplify this. 25 can go into 10 2 times. 2 times 25 means I'm getting rid of the 20 to regroup. Oops, negative. I did that completely wrong, so I'm not going to record another video because I just don't have the time. But again, 10 could go into 25. 10 cannot be regrouped into a whole. This is less than a whole because my numerator is less than my denominator. So I'm just going to simplify. Both of them can be divided by a common factor of 5, which would give you 2/5. So each one weighs 2/5 gram. You know what? I'm still not doing that right. So again, trial and error. And the reason I realize that is because I have 10 coins and they weigh 25 total, which means that they're getting more than a pound each if I were to split it. So it was sort of on the right track last time. Whoops. Again, errors in reasoning. See how I did that with logic, and hopefully you caught that. I'm actually supposed to be doing 25 grams divided by 10 coins, which is where I would have got the original answer. 10 can go into 25 2 times, which would leave me 5/10 left, which is the same thing as 2 1/2. Your next letter, I totally forgot your first letter, so let's hope this is right. Your next letter is an I. And then number 84 says to complete the conversion by writing the correct numbers. So if I wanted to go from meters to centimeters, hopefully you would know that, but if you did not realize that, okay, first of all, I'm going from a smaller to a bigger. Silly baby's dancing. It needs to get smaller. And centimeters are only one place smaller, so I'm taking that decimal at the end of the 7 hole, and I'm just moving it over one place value. So now you would have 0 7/10. If you didn't realize that on the reference sheet, you would go from millimeters, which would be power of 3. You would get this, and then you could go from millimeters back to centimeters, which would be power of 2, and you would still get the same answer. It's just another step. So there you are. Here I'm going from centimeters to meters. Again, this is your smaller, this is your bigger, silly baby's dancing. Centimeters to meters would be power of 2, so you'd be moving your decimal over 2 places. We're not going to do that for you. I want you to try that one. Okay, hopefully you've actually been trying, because now I'm going to do it for you. Again, whole number, my decimal's at the end, and this is going to be 10 to the power of 2. And again, silly baby's dancing, I'm dividing. So I moved over 2 place values. Now I have 0 7/100. Here I'm going from a smaller to a bigger, which could be silly baby's dancing. However, since this is my given number, I'm going to start here, and I'm going to do it inverse. I'm going to go from the bigger to the smaller. So best soccer mom, I'm going to actually be multiplying, and again, it's 10 to the power of 3. Move my decimal over 3 place values, and you get your final answer. You go ahead and plug that in. Your last letter is G. Have a great night. I retire. I'm done.